Welcome to the Embodied Resilience podcast, where we explore the intersection of trauma-informed yoga, emotional and mental health, nervous system regulation, and the ancient wisdom of Chinese meridians. I'm Liz, a trauma-specialized yoga educator and space holder. In each episode, we will dive into practices, stories, and conversations that help you to return to your body, navigate life with more awareness, and support others with integrity and depth. Whether you're a yoga teacher, a student, or seeker, this space is for you. Hello and welcome to this new episode. One of the biggest lessons I have learned in trauma-informed yoga is this. It's not what we do or say, it's how we are. I used to think that being a good teacher meant planning the perfect sequence, saying the right words, or having all the answers. But the truth is, people don't always remember your alignment cues or your creative transitions. What they remember is how they felt in your presence. That's what space holding is about. It's not about fixing anyone or offering solutions. It's not therapy, and it's definitely not playing the role of a guru. It's much simpler and much more profound. Space holding is the ability to sit with someone's experience without trying to change it, while offering a steady nervous system for them to lean into. Attunement is the skill of truly noticing. It's reading the room, sensing the subtle shifts in body language, breath, or tone of voice. It's letting your students know, even without words, I see you, you matter, and you are safe here. We talk about presence over performance, because your presence is what creates the healing environment. In neuroscience, there is a term called limbic resonance. It describes how our nervous system naturally tune to each other, like instruments playing in harmony. You know that feeling when you're with someone anxious and your chest tightens too. Or when you sit with someone calm and you start to feel yourself breathe a bit more deeply, more easy. That's limbic resonance. In a yoga class, this means your nervous system is part of the medicine. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present, grounded, and more or less regulated. And here's the thing. We can all feel when a space isn't safe. Maybe the teacher pushes too hard. Maybe there's no space for choice, or emotions are brushed aside or bypassed. Your body knows this instantly, because the antidote to anxiety is not calm, it's safety. And without safety, no healing or learning can happen. If you ever walked into a yoga class and felt immediately at ease without the teacher saying or doing much at all, you have experienced the power of attunement. And if you have also walked into a space where something just felt off, even though the sequencing and alignment cues were flawless, you have experienced quite the opposite, disconnection. Attunement is the skill of truly tuning into another person's inner world, noticing not just their words, but their tone, body language, energy, and nervous system state. Attunement is not about fixing or offering solutions, but about being present enough to recognize what someone might be feeling and responding with care. In trauma-informed yoga, attunement means you are not just delivering a sequence, you are co-regulating, allowing one nervous system to meet another. When we are attuned, our students feel seen, respected, and safe without verbal affirmations. This is the heart of space holding, and it's one of the most overlooked yet most essential skills for any yoga teacher, facilitator, or space holder. So what space holding isn't? It isn't about controlling or fixing people. It isn't about giving students the experience we think they need. It isn't about being endlessly calm or perfectly regulated as a teacher at all times. What space holding is? At its essence, space holding is presence over performance. It's the ability to attune to another person, not absorbing their pain or emotions, but meeting them with groundedness and respect. It's nervous system to nervous system. In the context of trauma-informed yoga and space holding, this means that your nervous system becomes part of the healing environment. When you, as a teacher, are present, steady, and attuned, your students' bodies and minds can register that safety and begin to shift. Let me share a few simple attunement practices that you can try out. Pause before speaking. Give yourself a breath to settle so your words land more clearly and intentionally. Orient to the space. Look around in the room and invite your students to do the same. This creates nervous system safety through context. Notice your body. Are you leaning forward, rushing, or contracting in any way? Small postural shifts can entirely change your energy. These micro adjustments build trust faster than the most eloquent Dharma talk. What are the possible signs of a healing space that it's not safe? Students might feel pressured to perform or conform. The teacher dismisses or overrides boundaries or experiences. Emotional expressions are labeled as too much or ego. There is more focus maybe on appearance than authentic connection. When these red flags appear, the nervous system perceives danger, and no amount of calm down cues will help. As I mentioned before, the antidote to anxiety is not calm, it's safety. This is where so many yoga teachers unintentionally miss the mark. We try to soothe, to shush, to soften, when what the body truly longs for is safety. Safety to feel, safety to move or rest, safety to choose. Only when such safety is established can calm arise naturally, as a byproduct and not as a goal forced upon the student. So why this matters so much for you as a yoga teacher if you are one? If you are listening to this, chances are you already know that alignment cues and playlists only go so far, that your students bring invisible stories into the room, trauma, stress, grief, longing, that holding space isn't about saying the right thing, but about being in the right relationship. However, most yoga teacher trainings don't cover this. At best, they skim over trauma awareness as a concept. But how do you practice attunement, and how do you embody space holding? This is exactly what I teach in my trainings. My 100-hour trauma-informed yin yoga TTC for teachers who want a deep dive into yin yoga, meridians, and trauma-informed foundations, or my 30 hours The Art of Trauma-Informed Space Holding course for teachers and practitioners who want practical skills for trauma awareness and safe facilitation without committing to a 100-hour training. Both courses are about bridging the gap between theory and practice, between good intentions and real impact. If you ever wondered Am I doing enough to keep my students safe? How do I know if I'm truly attuned or just performing calm? What if someone becomes triggered and I don't know how to respond? Then you are in the right place. These are the exact questions I hear from teachers again and again. And these are the exact skills we work on together in my courses. Because you don't have to have all the answers. You just need the willingness to hold space safely and the tools to support you in doing so. As a final thought, attunement isn't about perfection. Space holding isn't about being endlessly calm. It's about cultivating presence, choice, and safety so that others can meet themselves with honesty and compassion. And when you embody that, your classes become more than just yoga. They become a sanctuary. This is why I created my courses. These trainings are not just about giving you more tools to deal with. They are about reshaping how you are in the room, learning to attune, to hold space without absorbing, to meet another nervous system from a place of steadiness and clarity. Because when we get this right, the practice itself becomes the teacher. If today's episode resonated with you and you feel called to explore this work more deeply, here are a few gentle steps you can already take. You can download my free ebook, Meridians, Emotions, and Yin Yoga, which is a beautiful starting point for understanding the connection between your body, emotions, and energy. If you wish to go deeper into the trauma awareness topic, watch my free webinar, Trauma-Informed Yoga Foundations. You can also join my live trainings in Thailand, my 100-hour Trauma-Informed Yin Yoga and Chinese Meridians teacher training, or my 30-hour The Art of Trauma-Informed Space Holding course. Upcoming dates and links will be shared in the description. If traveling is not an option for you at the moment, you can already join the waitlist for the online self-paced versions of these courses, launching in December 2025. And finally, make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss any future episodes. I will share the links to all my offerings in the description. Thank you for listening and hear you in the next one.